Привет, компотики и компотессы, меня все еще зовут Джеди Брим. Ну что, это третья серия, вторая часть подкаста с уважаемыми людьми. И, как говорится, without further interaction, let's celebrate and suck some podcast. Погнали. And probably some quick disclaimer for some English-speaking audience who may find this conversation interesting. Yes, my English is not so good, so it's gonna be kind of weird, but probably you will find some useful information from this. So enjoy the podcast. И сегодня в гостях у нас Себастьян, капитан, ну то есть самый старший, новый, только что появившийся, кто-то заметил, кто-то нет, но программы «Рыцарей». Это своего рода аналог программы Шерпов и Старкова. Это интересно, и, наверное, прежде чем мы начнем, я бы хотел напомнить, что лайки, комментарии и подписочки — это самое лучшее, чем вы можете помочь мне развивать канал, продвигать, так сказать, Dark and Darker в массы, а то, как погляжу, подавляющее большинство людей смотрят контент-то без подписочки, знаете, вот, вам бесплатно, мне приятно, ну, короче, погнали, спасибо заранее.
That's fine. We'll make it work. We'll make it work.
Yeah, I hope so. I hope so. So, greetings, Captain Sebastian. I'm glad to see you. Thanks for your time to join us. Because, it's a lot of questions. Everybody can understand that something is happening. Like, something big is incoming, right?
June 7th.
Yeah. So, you are the one guy who just, kind of in this mess, right?
Yeah, I mean, I really don't know much, but I do know some cool stuff is coming. That's for sure.
Yeah. No, so let's talk about you a little bit, right?
Sure.
So you are Sebastian. We know you are from. So let you speak about yourself, not me, right? So you are the captain. You are the captain of the new night program, right? So you are in charge.
Yep. Basically, the night program. It was idealized by. At least I was contacted by Grayson to sort of run it because. Working through the official Discord, I was a tavern master for a while, and I'm also a dedicated player on top of that. I think I have like something crazy like 4,000 hours in game. So I've been playing since this game came out, and I've been totally passionate and in love with it. And I think everybody can recognize that there is a big gap between first joining and actually knowing how to play the game.
Oh yeah.
And so there's a lot of learning that needs to happen in between there, and it's difficult. It's difficult to find people that sort of can help you find your way through the dungeon, right?
Yeah, for sure.
So the whole idea of the program is we want to make the process between starting the game and becoming at least what I would say adept difficulty, right? So understanding all the modes, knowing what like the bosses are, knowing how to build your gear, etc. We want to make that transition as smooth as possible and offering a system where experienced players that are heavily scrutinized and interviewed by us, and we're making sure that these people are the right kind of people we want on the program, we can help divide that gap, right?
Yeah. So that was Iron Mace today, not yours, right?
Yeah, that was Iron Mace's idea.
And they come for you and saying, you want to be the captain? You want to...
So...
let me ask, something. Like, do you now work for Iron Mace, like, officially?
Yeah. I'm officially employed.
Oh, greetings, my lord. That's cool. That's cool. So they start... It's... very nice to hear that they starting to build some, how it's saying, is that to do something with community. Like they hiring you, right? They hiring Odin for Troubadour communication and so on. So yeah, that's really, really interesting because As you can see, like you have like 4K hours. That's so cool. Like I'm just like 2K hours in the game, and I was like no life at all. Like I'm a full-time streamer. I'm playing
Yeah.
Dark and Darker, like already a year without any interruptions. but I still got less hours than you. Oh my god!
Well,
Let's be honest. You just do not turn off your PC, right?
yeah,
With the game.
it's on 24/7.
Yeah. You just never turn it off. Okay. Um, so, can you explain what do you what do you want from people who wanna be knights? Like, okay, we got the idea. We got the idea what knights should do. Let's talk about what you expect from the experienced adventures.
So ideally, obviously there are a few requirements. Because whenever we take these people from the community, we're putting them in a position where anything they do, anything they say, anything can always be used against us, right?
Sure.
There was, as maybe you guys have seen, there has been some controversy in the past with other members of the community, like wardens, for example, and all of that stuff always negatively impacts us. So going forward, one of the main things that at least I want to make out for this program is people need to have very good records. So like I'm going through their account history, whether that be in game or out of game, like through Discord, checking their activity, because people that are knights are going to be helping new players. They're going to be interacting. It's going to be, for some people, it will be the first community interaction with Dark and Darker. So it needs to be perfect, right? There can be, at least in my opinion, zero room for error. We can't have anybody getting mad. We can't have anybody yelling. We can't have anybody insulting. It's really, really important that that these people need to be calm, patient. I personally interview them as well to sort of test their game knowledge as well as who they are as a person and kind of get a little bit of a background and just make sure that the people we're getting on this program are the perfect fit.
So I have to say that you are officially employing in the Iron Maze. The knights you're recruiting will be officially employed?
So currently, no. However, there are benefits that knights get that are undisclosed, which maybe one day you'll see in game. We want to compensate people for their work. It's doing volunteer work, like the night program or like being a warden, for example. Those things take time, and although it's not an official job, we want to do our best to sort of incentivize people doing those things and give back to the community as much as possible for helping us.
So, helping the new players, that's kind of hard work. I want to say it's like almost impossible to help everyone, and the game is hard. This gap, as you say earlier, this gap between the most experienced players and the new players will be so much that just the play style and play speed will be so different. Like you have to be so patient. That's it's so hard for me.
Yeah, take your time. Take your time.
Yeah. So the knights will knights have any support from Iron Maze? Like anything they will be given back from Iron Maze?
Yeah, of course. I mean, obviously some of these things you have to be in the program to know, and we like to keep them sort of close to the chest, but we're working on various ways to support the knights.
Oh, all right. So not now, but you're working on it, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
By the time the program is fully up and ready to go, there's going to be stuff in place that I think is pretty cool.
So the program starts in 7 June.
Well, So right now the program's already running, of course, but as I'm sure you know, the population of the game is sort of a little lower because we're getting to the end of wipe. There hasn't been huge amounts of content added, so a lot of people are waiting for like that big sort of release. What's coming next? When is Druid coming? And once that happens, I do expect us to get a huge influx of people.
Mm-hmm.
I'm expecting, once in the future, whenever a patch does come out that adds more content, that adds things, I know a lot of people are waiting for something like that, and the Knights are going to be there ready to help.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So Knights knowing something that coming up, or not?
No. I mean, not even I know it's coming.
Ah.
It's they keep things very, very compartmentalized. It's
So what's your opinion about that? Like, I think you are the person who is in charge with night program. So, in my opinion, you should know something about is coming up. Like,
even if I did, I can't talk about
yeah,
it.
yeah, I know, I know. I won't ask you about it.
Yeah.
About it. It's just I think like there is a lot of negativity coming around.
Mhm.
Like the Iron Mace didn't even say something, or no, you know all this healing about and so on. But I have to say, some of them, it's true. Like the communication, as for me, as I can see, it's not about Iron Mace. I don't have to say Iron Mace. I have to say you, because you are the official Iron Mace face right now. So I think it's not problem about you don't want to talk to people. It's like the guys just don't know how to communicate with community just for right now.
Yeah.
'Cause,
So I think
yeah.
my comment on that, what I can say is, after having gotten to know SDF a little bit more, he's a genius, by the way. I think it's insane how much he's put together and how much he goes through every single day. What a lot of people don't realize is, like, 5 months ago, SDF didn't even know how to speak English. And whenever I got hired, I had a full conversation with him in English, and it was as good as yours. Like, and that's while he's developing a game at the same time. And, they're a new company, right? Like, take Tarkov, for example. Battlestate Games has been around for years before Tarkov.
Sure.
They've existed for so long, and even they still have trouble communicating, as
Sure.
I'm sure a lot of people have noticed. So, and I mean, that's no excuse, but if you go back to the beginning of early access, things have definitely gotten better.
Yeah, sure.
There's still a lot that we need to work on, and I'm sure each day is like a new learning experience, but I think things are going in the right direction. And hiring people like me or Odin, for example, is a step in the right direction. They're taking people from the community and they're putting them in places where they can communicate, right? This is what we're doing right now. I think that's honestly one of the bigger steps into getting there, because the game's only been in early access for 7 months now. And 7 or 8 months, I don't know exactly, but it's, it's kind of cool from zero that we've gotten to this point with all of the negativity. I mean, I think a lot of people nowadays are also used to a higher quality product just because of the standard that's been set, right? You have all of these AAA companies that are releasing these games that gross millions and millions of dollars, and they're there to cater to, millions of audiences. And so it's really difficult to keep up to that standard, especially if you're actually in early access. Right, like the game is really in early access. There is the test server, but the game itself is also a test server, because they're using that data to sort of come up with the final product, right? And I think it's games like Tarkov and Rust and whatnot that have sort of set this precedent, because Rust was in early access for how many years? I think it was 6, and Tarkov, we don't even need to go into it. And so all of these games, they extend their early access so long that it's like, okay, early access, it's basically a release. But they're really using early access as like this is testing, help us, sort of balance the game properly, because...
Maybe this is the problem. Like, you know that, I know that, but nobody knows that. Like, everybody is thinking that I'm already buying the game, and here's the early access. Like everybody else on the planet do early access. It's just it's just excuse early
It's
access.
standard.
Yes, early access is just excuse to be a little bit backed or something like. That's all. But what we have here in Dark and Darker is it's fully early access testing.
Yeah, exactly. It's like it's real early access.
And that's that is the problem as for me. Like the multi-class system experiment was kind of negative for audience.
Yeah.
For most
of course.
part.
A lot of people disliked it.
Yeah.
And the thing about multi-classing is, if things like that don't get tested, right, then you'll never know. So I think it's respectable that stuff like that is tested now and not in, like 3 years when potentially there's a million players in the game. And, it's really rare to have this occasion where you have this amount of people playing a game actively dedicated where you can sort of figure these things out because it's enough players to where it's a good sample size, but it's not too little to where it's like, is there really enough players to actually get proper data, right?
Yeah.
And multi-classing served another purpose, which I think was lost a little bit, but it was actually to sort of refactor a lot of code. Some perks and abilities were working in weird ways where they weren't supposed to be. And so that was a really good opportunity to sort of like give everybody everything and see, okay, wait, this is supposed to be working on Spear, but it's not. Why is that not working on Spear? Let's look into that. And sort of like recoding those things to work properly if in the future, they need to look into something or modularize it, then they can. And so it's, making everything more simple, more clean, polishing things up is another process that happens through multi-classing. Obviously, it was negative, so that kind of sucks, but it's sort of like a necessary thing. It's good because, we're paying now to have a better game in the future.
Yeah, but in the other side, we have the situation, and I hear that a lot from my viewers. Of course, I'm speaking with the Russian community, Russian-speaking community, and the most common opinion about the multi-classing was like, I paid a lot of money, and I have to say, in this time, in this cursed timeline we are now on, the price for the game is too high. It's like for us now, $35 and $50 is a very lot of money, and we're paying a lot of money for the game. Like we love it. You buying the game with a lot of money that you like, and you already paid, and you paid for another game. Like you buying something, and this becomes like completely different game with the multi-classing. That's I bet that's the most part that everybody's don't like the multi-classing.
That's understandable. I mean, obviously the multi-classing itself was very negatively received, right? But regardless, they listen to the community. So it's not like they pushed it on and were like, this is what it is now. That's done. No more. Like it's only multi-classing. That's all we're doing from now on. You like it or you don't. They heard the community. People didn't like it, so they removed it, which I think is also respectable.
Yeah, the day they're removing, I'm just opening the champagne. The game is free. Yeah, thanks God.
Yeah, I not only do I work for them, but I'm also a dedicated player. Like I play every single day. I play. I've been playing trios competitively. I even post on YouTube myself, and that's just purely out of passion for the game. And I wasn't the biggest fan as well of multi-classing because whenever you offer stuff like that, it really boils down to, okay, now everybody's just going to run robust, Iron Will, and anti-magic.
Yeah.
And that's it.
I think
right? That's just the best.
Yeah, there's. I think the most idea of the multi-classing was like everybody will having fun, like doing something. I was playing Wizard with Crush, just smashing the doors and something fun stuff. But everybody else in the game was playing robust, full anti-magic. It's just
It got very
no fun,
toxic.
no fun at all. They playing not
Yeah.
fun at all. They just doing completely building completely meta, and everybody's playing this, and that was sucks. That probably that's the problem of the community of the games like that. Like the game is
I
hard.
mean, obviously, there are going to be meta chasers, right? Like, there's going to be people who will like boil it down and really make something perfect.
Sure.
Because, and that's what it was, right? Like the trio, like the trifecta, Iron Will, Robust, Anti-Magic, everybody was running that because it made Wizards obsolete. Warlocks did no damage to you. You were already playing a class that could get a ton of PDR. And so it was just like, you could never lose if you just get pocketed by a cleric and W key.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, people will always find stuff like that. I think the important thing, though, is that at least now we know.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah,
And
now we know. Now we know. But about now we know. It's we have the case with plus all attributes on the some items in the game.
Mhm.
Like plus all attributes was tested like 3 times. Am I right?
Yeah, I think it was 3.
Or I think it was 3. And
Mhm.
every single time that sucks. Like every single time. But I hope we will not testing multi classes like 3 times or something like that. I'm very glad like these spoilers from testing server like removing additional damage. I personally think it's not necessary in the game at all. Like the shorter time to kill is, the shorter fun you have from the game. That's why personally, and most of my community likes to play normals because it's more feels like you win, not your stuff win, not winning like because you saw them first and you hit them first. That's it. You fighting, actually fighting. Like you smashing, you get hits, you can go back and heal yourself, just rotating, use your brain to, some tactical stuff and so on. So I bet this season will be, as I can see from this change spoilers, I think it's gonna be cool. Like that's what I was dreaming about. But we did not change. We did not see any balancing changes, right? We just see some stuff like items, stuff like new stuff, and something. But do you know it's some balancing crazy stuff will be changing? Like
So
do not
know,
specify that if you just
Don't worry. I'll answer what I can. So I know that I saw the gear changes myself, and I'm a fan. I like it. I like the longer time to kill because the longer a fight lasts, usually the more fun you have. Because the more little micro incidents that happen, oh, I blocked you, oh, I dodged that, like, oh, I got away, I healed up, I came back, and so having it be like I shoot 2 fireballs and then the entire team is dead, it gets a little boring sometimes, right? I don't know anything about balancing, to be honest. I don't know what they're doing on that department, but one of the things that I'm seeing, at least with having such low damages, is, and I guess I can ask your opinion on this as well. What do you think is going to happen when for example, a barbarian gets 50% PDR and then 75% MDR, right? Like my entire spell wheel. You've played Wizard as well. My entire spell wheel is going to go out, and he's not going to be dead.
Yeah.
So that's something else that we need to look into. And obviously stuff like that is going to have to be tweaked in the future. Like, I don't know. I'm just saying off of my personal experience. This is me talking as Sebastian, not as, Iron Mace. But perks like Iron Will, for example, they're going to need to be adjusted because, getting that much resistance is going to be very overpowered if everybody else doesn't do any kind of like penetration damage, right? And
So I can say about the fighter sprint. Like now, everybody's will move faster, and
yeah,
the speed gap is lowered. So the sprint from the fighter is gonna be a problem. Like 50
yeah,
move speed is kind of overpowered right now. Like because everybody is gapped on the 330. So
yeah.
that's not a problem to moving like
Yeah,
330
before
with
you
the
could be like
sprint in the
350 and they
yeah
would be 330 with their weapon out, so you could still make distance if you had
yeah
a move speed kit. But now everybody's kind of on even playing field. I see what you mean there. I mean, that's all stuff that we can speculate on, but until it's really in the game, we can't test for certain. So I'm sure if it becomes a problem, uh, then we'll definitely look into balancing that. Like if it's something we listen to the community, right? Like a lot of suggestions that happen are from the community. I think a lot of people they forget. You know, you have on this side one person saying it's broken, and then on this side one person saying it's not broken, and that it's like underpowered, and so then they clash,
yeah
and
yeah yeah
it's difficult to get like one opinion.
it,
Everybody wants to be happy.
yeah. The balance is not like the $100. You can
Yeah,
do this like everybody will love it. And
yeah,
anyway, like you will nerf Iron Wheel, the barbarians players will be like, so
yeah,
nerfed, and everybody's will just
yeah. Of course.
celebrating that. So let's get back to the night program, right?
Yep.
Um, so as we can see now, you already have some nights. Like
Yep.
how they get into this.
So the idea is that on launch we wanted to have a few nights already that we could,
Mhm.
people that we selected, people we know are in the community, we see helping people out, we see doing these things, and so we selected those people. We ran them through an interview process, asked, offered them sort of like a sneak peek at what the program was, and there was actually a closed test that we did with a limited number of people from the community testing, the system, the bot, how it
Mhm.
works and everything. And they help with that process. And it was kind of vital to have a foundation for, okay, we're going to open it to the public. Let's be ready for potentially like 100
Mhm.
requests, right? It would be a little bit silly if, we just opened it
Yeah, sure.
and we didn't have anybody to help with the tickets.
Yeah, sure.
So,
It's like what was the with Troubadour program. It was just open for everyone, and
yeah.
now we have. I think that's the problem now because that's kind of my my uh, time wasting stuff. Like I'm
Hmm.
just randomly hit someone in the Discord with Troubadour role, and see he never play Dark and Darker, never play Dark and Darker, no videos on Dark and Darker, no streams, nothing at nothing at all.
Hmm.
That's the problem, and I'm glad you're doing this. So the nights that was I want to talk about. Will so you can guarantee as a captain, right? So
Yeah.
that night program will be on the all languages that
Yeah.
gonna exist.
So I'm trying my best to put people together. Obviously, uh, the requirements to be a knight is very, very high, right?
Yeah,
Like
sure.
we take literally the best of the best. From I can give you some numbers from 400 applications, we've managed to get not even 50
Mm.
people that can join. So, and that's 400 people that through the main Discord, through the announcement, they join that and then apply like the application as well. It's it's not super simple. We look at the applications individually. We check for account history. We check for hours. We check also like what they write in their application. Is it good enough? Then I do a personal interview with them to see if they qualify. If they're the right material. We do some trivia, like asking a few questions. Oh, do you know about this? What's that? To
Mhm.
test their game knowledge. So it is really like a high standard program, and um, and yeah, so it's difficult to get every single language, but we're trying.
Mm.
Hopefully, that's one day. My goal would be to have one person for every language at least. Although that's going to be hundreds of people. Um, my dream is that one day the game is big enough to where that's
Yeah,
something
yeah,
that's
yeah.
possible.
Everybody is dreaming about
Yeah.
that. Yeah. That's why I'm asking the questions like that, because the Russian-speaking community is big. Like it's
Yeah.
it's really big. But as you can see, all these tournaments is like every time winning by Russian players and so on. But the everybody here, just feeling like Iron Mace just ignores us. I know personally. I know that's not true. That's not true, because if you want to get answers to your questions, you may ask them, right? Here's we doing like I can freely speak to you. I can speak to the Terrans. I can speak. Whatever I want, get my answers. Not probably not right here, but in some time anyway they will. But here's the point. Here's the point. We have to just I'm really dreaming about Iron Mason. Probably you will just give them the idea that. That some regional community manager will exist in the future, because I know you just English speaking, Korean speaking, and so on. It's very hard to communicate with someone you don't know the specific, you don't know the language, and so on. And I hope because this gonna be a great idea, that there will exist some community manager for some regions, and he will know something, he can communicate officially, and something like that. That's gonna be cool. That's gonna be something.
Yeah, I mean,
that
I know for a fact that they're planning, for example, Odin being the troubadour manager, right? That's a step in that direction. I personally don't have much say there. I have my program and I deal with that, but I can obviously suggest these things, and I will. But I think the communication going forward is going to
exactly.
get a lot better. I think
exactly.
that's the goal. And right now, we're at if we started at 0%, right now we're getting to 30%. Like it's it's still a little shaky, but things have gotten better. It used to be like game is going down, patch with 0 minutes notice, and it was just gone for who knows how long. Now it's like, okay, patch is happening today. Patch comes out, it's down. We say 2 hours. Okay, we're sorry there was a problem. We're gonna extend it by a few hours. Before it was total silence. So things are getting a little bit better, and hopefully with the Troubadour program as well, hopefully that becomes something where communication can sort of evolve there as well.
Yeah, I hope so.
Yeah.
So probably you wanna tell some audience something like, to come and make applications or something like that.
We are looking for Russian knights. So if you are Russian and you know that you fit the bill and you think you have what it takes, send in an application. I'm sure you'll link the Discord somewhere.
For sure.
Yeah, if people are interested, we're always looking for people. If you think that you have what it takes, go ahead and apply.
So yeah, that's what I'm talking about, guys. Nobody never will do something if you will not do something. So
yeah.
So that's the part of the game. I think that's all. Thank you very much for your time.
Yeah, thank you so much. It was nice meeting you.
Yeah. So do I. I was, just very glad to speaking to you directly and got this information. Thank you for your time, my friend. And
yeah, thank you.
Greetings, Captain. See you in the dungeons. Bye-bye.
Yeah.
Так, большое спасибо за просмотр. Напомню про комментарии, лайкосики, подписочки. Обязательно. Очень надо. Вот, надеюсь, нашли что-то интересное. Я, конечно, извиняюсь за сумбурность. И, наверное, знаете, я немножко задрал некоторую планочку контента, как мне кажется. И сейчас в сумбуре, беготне очень сложно ее держать, когда надо все успеть побыстрее, чтобы это все было, знаете, в нужное время, к нужному месту. Поэтому это через одно место немножко получается. Вот. Но ничего. Встаем на поток, на рабочие рельсы, так сказать. Спасибо тебе большое за поддержку. Обнял. И совсем скоро... В общем, контент сейчас попрет. Своеобразный, но попрет. Обнял.